We're calling the Lakeville Parks Commission meeting to order Monday, October 19th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws 30A, paragraph 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency, the October 19th, 2020 public meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in process, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at www.lakecam.tv. I will be confirming all the members present. As a preliminary matter, this is Scott Holmes. I'm the chairman of the Lakeville Parks Commission. Permit me to confirm that all members, staff, and personnel anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Commissioners, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Okay, Mr. Mike Nolan.
I am here.
Mr. Jesse Medford.
Affirmative.
Mr. Joe Kasha.
Yes.
Okay, do we have Paula here yet? No, we do not. Okay, when she pops in, we will acknowledge her. Also with us tonight is our staff, our secretary, and Nellie Woodburn.
Here.
Okay. We do not have any anticipated speakers in the agenda, so there are none to talk to. Introduction to the remote meeting. Good evening. This open meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of the emergency of the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Furthermore, all members of public bodies are allowed to encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so as long as reasonable public access is afforded, so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Lakeville Parks Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the town's website. For Zoom meetings, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to speak with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote will be taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Oh, man. Okay. So moving to the first, do we have any new business we have to attend to? Does anyone have any new business? Mike?
No, I have stuff that's coming up on Ted Williams Camp, but
Okay, fine. Jesse, do you have any new business? Nope. Okay.
Nope, nothing new.
All right. Thank you. Joe, do you have any new business?
Nope.
And is Paula in here yet? I don't see her. She's not here. Okay. So moving on. Good. I like it. We don't have any minutes to approve, so we'll move by that. We're going to start by reviewing the electric bills.
okay, Scott, I had asked about that because I noticed a couple of things that caught my eye. You know, we go through this, so many of them, we go through them so quick, sometimes sign off on them.
Absolutely.
But there was a couple things, you know, I'm sorry?
Join the meeting.
Nope, there she goes.
Paula, are you here? Paula Hool, are you here?
I am.
Okay, just wanted to acknowledge the fact that you're here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Mike, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I just noticed a couple of things that I just wanted to look at, and possibly, if it's okay with you folks, research a little further. One of the charges we getting is the 26 Precinct Street maintenance pole. And if I'm not mistaken, Scott, that is the pole that all the lights are on that don't work over by the tennis court, the one we've looked at about having fixed.
Right.
And we have a charge of $19.53 and some back charges. So it's like a $33 charge. And I don't believe that's got any electricity going to it.
26 precincts. Oh, that's Horseshoe. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. Nellie, are you keeping track of these Horseshoe bills and the snack stand bills to be reimbursed?
Yes.
Okay, good. I thought you were. I just was double checking.
And the lights. That was another thing I was going to.
Yes.
The lights. Okay.
All right,
Yes,
26
yes.
So I'm
precincts.
going to call them about this one and find out what's going on with that, if that's okay.
Mike, the question I've got is, it says there's use.
I know. That's exactly right. It hasn't been used in years. So,
Right, and they show no usage from
last year.
December through June, but yet last fall and this fall, there is some usage.
right. That's why I brought it up.
Okay,
So I want to give them a call about that. I'd like to, we had talked about it earlier and I had done. that.
renaming these,
Huh?
renaming the accounts so that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
know
it's
exactly
coming
what they
down.
are.
Yeah, what I did over at John Pond before Joe was there was, we had Sean from the Middleborough Gas and Electric come down and they renamed everything, and so we knew what they were talking about. So I think I'd like to do that again at Ted Williams Camp, if that's okay.
Yeah,
All right.
no, I think that'd be great, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a question right there. I wanted to point out, and I don't question this at all, but I want to point out that even though we're not using the function hall,
Yeah, I know. I saw
So-
that too.
yeah, we're still getting a fair amount of bill for the electricity here. You can't shut everything off, but
I know. So I'm trying to figure out what's, I mean, that's considerable amount of usage.
yeah, it's 2 months. It's actually 2 months. The $216 is 2 months, I think. Because it says charges subject to prompt discount is $89.42.
Then you get the other,
Hmm?
you get the other charge. So that was only 1 month, I believe.
It is
That
only
would
1
be very
month.
high for not having anybody in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I talk to them about all these bills, that will be one of them. One of the things that really caught my eye on this, and the reason I actually wanted to talk about this is if you look, it says Bedford Street Pump House.
Yep.
$20.42. That is the New Fields pump. It's like $20. I think that's the Bedford. Bedford Street's that's the only pump house over there on Bedford Street.
Yeah.
Mike, that's a long-standing bill. We've had that one for a long time. Did we connect to something that was already there?
No.
Well, no, we put it in, but if you see, it starts in November of 2019. There's nothing for a few months there, which makes sense because we weren't running it at that
Right.
time.
Right. It didn't get turned on till in the fall.
So this is exactly my point. I'd like to sit down with these folks and try to straighten these things out because we really don't know. I mean, I think that that's the New Fields, but it seems like a very small amount to be paying considering we were watering those fields twice a day for 2 months.
Right.
So, there's a 1.5 horsepower pump pulling water up and it just seemed like a small bill. And then comparatively, the Ted Williams Camp Pump House, which is the soccer, I always call the soccer pump because we built it for the soccer club.
Right.
is, we got a bill of $228. I can see that the last month it's dropped off significantly. It's only $81. But still, there's been a lot of talk about upgrading that pump to the service, just to a three-phase service, because it's a three-phase pump.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys don't all remember, but when we put that in, we didn't have three-phase at Ted Williams Camp. So in order to get a pump that was big enough to run the soccer fields and all those fields that were way far away, we had to get a phase converter, which converts, 240 single phase to 240 three phase. And what happens is you get a bill that's expensive. It costs a lot more for the electricity. So this illustrates it very much. I mean, this is what we pay for, the soccer fields and stuff, and the other two new soccer fields were $20. So there's a big difference there. I'd like to research, and speak with, hopefully meet with Middleborough Gas and Electric, and find out if there's anything we can do about that. From what I understand, it is possible to just run the three-phase wires out to the pump house and run directly to that pump and bypass that phase converter that we bought. And we'll be paying a heck of a lot less electricity if we can run those on three-phase directly.
Right. And I, to my understanding, that three-phase comes in as far as the little circle, right? Or it comes in at
It
least.
comes in as far as the building, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'd have to run it from the building. Well, actually, it had to be looked at, because I thought you'd have to run it from the building to the pump house, like 200 feet.
Yep.
But about 300 feet, whatever it is. But somebody told me that it already runs out there. It just needs to be dropped down. So I'm just going to do some research, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah. And like you said, it would definitely behoove all of us and those that will come after us if these things have a better identification on them.
Exactly.
And I think that would be much appreciated by everybody on the board, Mike.
Okay. One last little thing regarding that. Clear Pond Pump House is getting a charge, $13.99. That pump is not run all year. I don't know why there's anything more than the regular, the base fee for having a service there.
Yeah, well, I
Those
thought it was,
delays,
I thought it was coming on.
The pump?
I mean, I think the tank didn't hold the water. You know what I'm saying?
Is leaking or something?
It's possible. I remember being there and nobody using any water and the pump coming on.
Well, that makes sense then. So that's something we're going to have to look at as a repair.
Does that need to be shut down for the winter?
I don't know. The Clear Pond Park?
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we
Mike used to shut that down and take that pump out of there
pump out of there, right?
and bring it back to the camp. And then all the water was shut down in the building too.
Okay, well, I can talk to Franklin about that. I know they're getting close to the point where they're going to blow out the whole system at Ted Williams. And does the system have to be blown out there, or he just takes that out and it kind of runs out, right?
I believe so. I'd have to ask Mike. I don't.
Okay.
I've never been there when he's done it.
Okay. Okay. I'll talk to whoever about that.
Okay.
That's all I had about that. I just want to bring that up and make sure it was okay with everybody if I called MG&E and did that.
I don't have any problems. Does anybody else have any issues with that?
No.
Joe, Jesse, Paula.
Nope.
Okay, good. Moving forward with the Loon Pond Lodge SEM updates.
Before you go there, I got a question with the electric stuff.
Okay,
I guess, do we, and I think that Nellie mentioned the other day I was talking to her, do we send the teams bills for these electric bills? I mean, I don't include it in the fees, and I thought we were gonna try doing that. So what's the policy on the fields for charging for electricity?
I'll pass that over to Nellie, but as far as my recollection is at the end of the season, she tabulates the bills and sends them a bill to reimburse us for the electric, for the lights and the snack stands at both places.
In
Is
the
that
pump
correct,
house.
Nellie? And the
That's
pump house.
correct. Yes. And the pump house for anybody who's watering their fields. So it's usually around December or January where we know no use is being done on the fields. And it's only for their season. So I can give them a monthly breakdown of the usage and the cost to give them the reason behind the total amount they're being charged.
Because we have a monthly fee on those that we pay on all of those charges, so that we don't, because if we shut them off and turn them back on, they're gonna charge us more than the $8.50 monthly charge. So we don't shut them off. We just bill them for the months that they're there, and we eat the extra $8 or $10 a month for the off months, because it would cost more to turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on.
I just guess, is there any way if we can get visibility to that for all the teams? And maybe at the end of this year, whenever we do it, Nellie, if we can go over that one meeting on what teams are being charged what, so we'll know ahead of time. Because like I said, I didn't know from John Pond that we were sending people a bill for it. I don't have a problem with it without a doubt, but I'd like to know what it is, looking at the numbers and how it's gonna be divvied up and stuff. So, I didn't
Yeah,
know if
well, I
that-
mean, I think the lights will be sent to the co-eds, right?
No, I realized that. I just didn't know if that was happening. I didn't know that was happening. It was news to me, and I've had the place for a year and a half. I'm surprised. So I've been watching the electric bills the last year or so, and I've just questioned where are we getting paid for this? I was gonna reach out to Blooper Ball myself, but I didn't know we're already doing that. So
Yeah, Nellie would have done that last winter, Joe.
Yes,
so I'd like to see it before we do that.
No problem.
absolutely.
All the teams for us to approve it first, if he could.
Yeah,
Whenever you
what
go
I
to
do is
that.
that I'll build a breakdown per electric bill that we receive and tell you which group gets that one bill. And if there's more than one group on a certain breaker, we divvy it up with an average over the few years that we have.
All right, so I just like, if we could, I just, like, before you do that to the teams, if we can have a discussion on that so we can see what it is. That's
Yep.
all. I just-
Absolutely.
Because like I said, I've been watching this stuff at John Pond, so I just want to be sure stuff gets divvied up the right way and all that. So
No problem.
like I said, it was news to me, that's all.
You know the best who's using what, so.
Yep.
Nellie's done it in the past, so, we should have run it by you. Okay, Loon Pond Lodge SEM updates. Paula, do you have anything for us?
No. I think Mike does.
Okay. Who's got this heating system test?
That's me. I was talking
You're
to
paying
the
for it?
town clerk the other day, and for elections coming up in November, she wanted to just ensure that the heating system was working, which of course, I mean, anything can go wrong. So I was wondering, do we want to just turn the heat on for a little bit, make sure it reaches temperature, and then just turn it back off? So in case she needs it on that day, she's all set.
We can do that.
How long do you think it'll take? I'll be there tomorrow evening for about 45 minutes. I could do it when I first get there and then check it when I leave. Do you think that would be long enough?
Yep. You'd notice a difference. You know, if you do it in the bar room, you know, you're gonna see a difference. It shouldn't take too long for it to go up a degree or two. And that's all
Yeah.
you're gonna need to know if it's working.
Exactly.
don't
Okay, I
hear
could do that tomorrow.
You can hear it. There's a
Yep.
there's a burner there's a closet in the kitchen area that has a burner.
Yep.
You'll hear it.
Oh,
come
yeah.
from-
Yeah.
You'll be able to hear that come on.
Okay, great. I'll
Shouldn't-
test
I
that
mean,
out tomorrow.
there's no reason why it wouldn't work, but that's a good point. We should probably should make sure it does work.
Yeah, you never know. Things bust.
Probably working right now because we've been going down to the 30s.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
set on, what do we leave it on? 60,
Yeah,
65?
something. Yeah, it's like
I think it's
60.
60,
Probably
60
running
something.
right now.
Might want to lower that to 50.
Well, we were advised not to go that low because we've had pipes up in the ceiling freeze before.
That wasn't a fun winter.
I'm assuming they're insulated, maybe not.
Quasi.
Better
With a
now than
project or somebody.
better now than they were before they froze, Joe. Wasn't
I
it?
won't go there. Yeah, see, I mean, it's not done, do you know? I mean, are they insulated properly? Now,
Well, I think it is insulated properly now.
right.
Okay, moving forward, Ted Williams camp updates.
Oh, there's one other thing with the lodge. Again, I think I brought it up before. Where with the alarm system? Are we gonna get trained on that, or is everybody trained? It was an item that's been open for a while.
We can't get together, so we can't do it till we get together.
It can be done individually, I'm assuming, right?
I think we can do it individually
Yep.
if we want to start doing that. But then it's, just making sure everybody knows that the alarm is on. And they need a code. So with elections coming up, Teddy has to know. Do we want to do it after elections? Because I don't think we have anything coming in.
We've got
Unfortunately.
Hey, we're gonna talk about that.
well, we've got the arts festival coming in.
That
No,
was coming up, that's coming up under correspondence.
Okay,
I got something about Ted Williams camp. There's a couple US flags. They're both real tattered. Wondering, do we have replacement flags or can we get some?
well, one doesn't belong to us.
The tennis court one you're probably talking about then?
That belongs to pickleball.
That one's terrible. They need to just take it down.
Well, then we need to instruct him to take it down.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one ripped that bad before. But then also the one right in front of the lodge is a little bit tattered and due to be replaced.
That one's newer.
Yeah, it is new. But when it stays up every day and every night,
yeah, they only last a couple of years if you have them up all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen worse ones, Jesse. You ever seen some of the pickup trucks running through town?
Yeah.
Which is kind of makes me cringe every time I see it.
Do we have lights on
Who's got pickleball?
those flags?
Who's got pickleball? Who is it? Is that me?
Is it you?
who's pickleball, Joe?
Just like, yep.
Mike,
Mike,
All right, well, we'll send them a thing. Tell them to take down the, Nellie, can you send them a correspondence and tell them to please take down their flag there? I'm sure they're done for the year anyway.
They were playing today.
They usually go into November.
Okay,
But yeah, I can
Take down the
ask
flag.
them to please take that down.
Because of the condition it's in.
Yeah.
You know, we're not telling them to take down the American flag. We're asking them to take down the American flag because it's in deplorable condition.
Yes, and to please replace.
Replace is fine.
they don't want to leave it up all winter long anyway.
No, I don't think they do, but that one should come down.
And as far as the one in
After-
front of the lodge that belongs to us, we could, I didn't really notice that it was that bad, Jesse, but if it is, we should replace it. We have to replace that periodically.
It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, but if it needs to be replaced, we should replace it.
Absolutely.
Nellie, could you possibly look up where we got the last one?
Yes, I'm
That was
trying to find it now.
Like $75, $70.
Yeah, it was something like that.
do we have a light on that for nights?
No.
We did.
Something we should look at.
I
and
believe
Have it up all night.
it's not working at the present.
There's a solar powered light on it that was a Boy Scout project. And it worked for a short period of time, but it didn't last. When we buy the solar power lights for the signs, we should get one for that too.
Will the pickleball club people take the flag down at the end of the season, or do you want it down now?
We're gonna ask them to take it down now. If it's.
We are, because
damaged.
not only did Jesse mention it, but someone else who's has nothing to do with the board or anything saw it and said, I was told to talk to you about taking that flag down. I said, well, tell you the truth, it's not my flag, it's pickleball's. And yes, they should take
Oh.
it
Not a big deal.
down. Nope.
Why don't we ask for a donation from the town? If everybody wants to donate a flag for us. I'm sure somebody want to do that.
Okay, that's great. It's a specific size.
Yep. Nellie, I think you have that information, Nellie.
I think so. I actually think I bought it through Tracy at Town Hall.
I believe you did.
Yeah. So if anything, I'll touch base with her.
Yep.
That's
Do you think
usually
the
what we do.
town,
Joe, just for your, so you know how it goes. That flag, whether it flies at half mast or fully up, is basically predicated on what the police station does. And police station gets the word from town hall.
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed, it was at half mast for quite a while over the last month. That was for, I believe it was for a justice on the Massachusetts State
Yeah.
Court that had passed away.
Yep.
But we don't really get that information. So it kind of just goes by what we get the word, highway department gets the word from the police department, who gets it from the town.
Right. And he was going around adjusting them. So he was adjusting ours also. And the last time, you're right, it was for a judge. And then right after that, it was for the Marine from Brockton, who died at
Yep.
Fort Hood.
Mhm.
So it was up for him too. It seems like it's been at half mast more than it hasn't, unfortunately.
It might be a good idea not to fly it during the winter time. I think we don't usually run it all winter. Does that make sense to you guys, or?
I think
Yes,
that's reasonable.
Now, if we're gonna have events there, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad idea. I fly mine year round.
Right, but you're there to take care of it too. I mean,
Oh, that goes with it, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we reach out to a local veterans group if they wanna help us maintain it. Somebody might wanna help us out.
It's a good idea. There's a veterans agent at the Council on Aging. I can reach out to him. As far as disposing of the old one, there used to be, the Boy Scout troops would properly dispose of them. Do we have any Boy Scout troops that are currently active?
I think you could bring them to the police department or fire department. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know.
yeah, I'm
Well, we
not
do
sure.
have that Boy Scout group that's looking to use space at Ted Williams Camp for meetings. I wonder if they could help us with that.
That's Cub Scouts.
That's Cub Scouts.
Same thing.
We had the group that used to use Clear Pond every year, right? That's Boy Scouts, right?
Yeah, that's Troop 4.
I don't know who the
I don't know.
contact was. but-
I have no idea what Boy Scouts are doing these days.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like Cub Scouts are meeting.
They're trying to.
Trying to. So what do we want to do with the Joe's question on the alarm system? We want to wait until after the elections and then we'll deal with it?
I would think that would make sense. That way we can assign, hopefully I mean, I don't want to get into it right now, but shouldn't we be meeting in person sometime soon?
We should. My person at town hall's gone, so I can't ask her. I'd have to ask the selectmen,
Okay.
but I can
How
do
about-
that.
how-
Paula?
is it the administrator that's gone at
Yes.
town hall?
Yes.
Oh. Hmm.
Selectmen, so I'll reach out to them and see what their thoughts are, and if we can have a meeting in our lounge where we can socially distance. We can still keep it closed. You know, I don't know. I'll ask. I'd prefer it myself. We can still keep the public out for now for safety purposes. You know, if everyone wants to. I mean, I think we got to have a full presentation here that everybody wants to do that.
I would.
I would too, except that the numbers are going up according to the news. So we might get turned down.
Yep, it's up over 800 today, so.
Yeah, it's getting, and they're talking about it getting worse this winter. I prefer to meet in person, but I think that's going to be their answer.
I'll ask and we'll find out. I'll let you all know.
Okay.
Okay, we have, Joe, are you all set with the,
Yeah, I'll follow up on afterwards, after the election. I just want to make sure it's on our agenda. I really don't want to get into alarm discussions on live like this, so I'll
absolutely,
handle that with Nellie on the side.
right, it's got to be done on the side.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, moving forward, Ted Williams Camp updates, Lakeville Martial Arts request.
Here you.
I'll let you go.
Okay. John Morando from Lakeville Martial Arts called and asked to meet regarding the use of the lodge for his martial arts studio during the winter months. I did a little research, called Nikki from Southeast Management. She was fine with the idea, as long as everything was gone and the place was sanitized by the weekend, because she is still showing the lodge, to potential brides and people that will customers for the function hall. So John wants to run it Monday through Thursday night, and possibly on a Saturday. But the Saturday is probably not going to work if she's showing it. I also spoke with Ed Cullen from the Board of Health agent, and he was fine as long as we follow all of the state guidelines, which would be no more than 25 people indoors, including adults, and socially distancing. So we took it the next step. Scott and I met with John last week. John and his wife down at the lodge, and he gave us his plan, and went over what they understood to be the state guidelines regarding something like this. And we said we would bring it to the board tonight and talk about it and see if it was something that would be possible. It would just be another, small revenue source, some sort of a revenue source. So we're here to talk about it. Did he send all the information we requested, Nellie?
Yes, I just got the paperwork back today, so I didn't have a chance to review all of it, but they did send everything.
Okay, what I was particularly interested in is the state guidelines regarding the actual grappling and, the kids wrestling and that kind of stuff. He said that they had gone to a seminar and they knew what those guidelines were, and they were prepared to follow it. Did they have a plan as well? You don't know you didn't read what they sent.
No. So they sent us back all of our forms.
Okay, we asked them to send us in writing what information they had gotten, because I went to the website that we had got our information from before, Nellie.
Mhm.
And again, it's been changed again, just to let you all know.
Of course.
And I did find, Mike, where it said, like he was talking about those cohorts
Yes,
of 10 participants or less, and they have to be 14 feet apart. But all it says, and I'll read the line that I found, and it says moderate or high risk activities and sports that cannot implement the mandatory modifications as described above can participate in modified level 2 play for close physical contact or face-to-face contact using a cohort concept of competitive contact practices or trainings, provided the facility operators and activity organizations meet the following minimum requirements. And it goes on to say that they've got to be trained in these cohorts, and these cohorts have to stay the same group, throughout. They can't change people from one cohort to another. And they must be used for every training session or class. Participants cannot be members of multiple cohorts, nor can a cohort assign rotate. Training boundaries must be marked. They separate at least 14 feet apart, and class sizes should be capped by the number of available training areas based on the size of the facility, and in no event be more than 25 people on a playing surface. So, that would be students and staff. It says a cohort can't compete. No contact between cohorts, between groups, that they can compete against each other. But nowhere does it say anywhere about wrestling. It just does say close physical contact. So I think we need to see this in writing to say that martial arts can do this. Because this doesn't say that. It doesn't come out and specifically say that. It just says the higher and moderate risk can work in these cohorts, but it doesn't say how physical they can be. So we asked him for that, and I think we need to see that myself.
they also had a plan that he verbally talked about as far as checking people in and keeping a record of everyone and keeping the parents outside in the parking lot. So they had a detailed plan. That's why, and we asked, that he could send us that. They didn't send any plan like that yet, huh? Nellie?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay. So we're gonna need some more information, but I kind of wanted to just get everybody's ideas on this. What do you think? This is something that we could do at all.
Joe, your thoughts?
I guess it's this question. So I'm assuming right now he doesn't have this happening in his studio, right? Because of COVID. And that's why he wants to go to the lodge with bigger space. Is that what he's thinking?
What it is he's outside right now, and it's
Okay.
going to get cold. He's actually got a bigger group because he is outside. He's going to have to scale it back to a maximum of 25, including coaches, to go inside. But if he doesn't go inside, middle of winter, snow on the ground, he's not going to be able to have class.
So he can't have it inside his own place.
Too small.
You're saying.
Well,
Okay.
he is gonna have, it's only big enough for like one cohort. That's the whole thing. He did say he still wants to use that, but it's
Yes.
not big enough. The area is not big enough to have more than 6 to 8 people doing it. I can't tell. Ed told me what the number was, but it's like, I think it's 8 people per 1,000 square feet. And I measured off the big room in there. We have 4,800 square feet in there. So theoretically, it would be big enough for 32 people. But
You maxed out at
other
25.
laws, you can only have 25. But I do believe he wants to continue to have a smaller class over there, perhaps of the older kids, and then have the younger kids over at the lodge.
So if he does that, now that's with the mats down and everything. So does that have to be cleaned like once a night by anybody, or how does that happen? How does that work?
Our suggestion was that his crew wipe it down every night, and then once a week before Nikki and any prospective renters come in on the weekend, we have it professionally cleaned. That was our suggestion.
He actually said they were gonna wipe it down between all the classes
Right,
and also clean the bathrooms between all the classes.
right. Because in reading this, Mike, he has to have the bathrooms available for hand washing.
Right,
So, he's going to have to take care of the bathroom every night too.
right. And when I was talking to Nikki, Joe, I asked about our cleaning service, cleaning it once a week for the weekend. And she informed me that the cleaning service is certified for, certified sanitation for the COVID. And Joe, we told that to John, and John was fine about us using our own cleaner if that's what we want to do.
Right.
He's
Then
like
he would-
between $100 and $150 a week.
Right. I mean, and we did mention it. I mean, if he could find someone that was certified that would do it, for less, I mean, and he wanted to pay him, I mean, we can work something out, but it's got to be cleaned by a certified person, Friday night into Saturday morning, once a week before anybody comes in there for prospective rentals.
And that's still one person in the bathroom at a time. I know they're multi-use bathrooms. It has to be just one person again, still.
Yeah, somebody would have to be monitoring that. Yeah.
All right.
And they're going to take all the mats out, take them out and away. They wouldn't be left there for the weekend. Obviously we said, we have to show the place for weddings. We don't want to have karate mats all over the place. And they were fine with that. Again, he came to us, asked for with a proposal, gave us some information, and we told him that we would bring it to the board and discuss.
Joe, anything else?
No.
Jesse, any comments?
I'd just be a little concerned about, practice produces a smell. I mean, does the cleaning aerate the place too and everything? Get good odor in there?
We also were concerned with that.
That comment was made.
He assured us that no, he was going to bring in all brand new mats and they were going to wipe them down after every class. That would be something, if it became an issue, we would have to deal with. We absolutely don't want to have it smelling like a gym in there. But I don't know if you've ever been into his dojo, it's very clean, very clean. They clean it all the time. So.
Paula, do you have any questions?
Does he take the mats out of the building when he's not using them?
Yes, that was the plan. He was going to roll them up and take them out. He was going to take them away. And we actually said, if, provided it works out, we could, possibly let him use our storage room to put them in. Because we have all the voting machines are out of there now.
And we can close and lock that door so the smell doesn't come out?
Correct.
Oh,
Okay.
we might want to have him take his mats to his own place, but we can talk about that down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe, like Mike said, if any part of it becomes an issue with any of that, then that will be addressed immediately.
Yeah, I have no problem with us moving forward with it.
Okay.
I just want, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Paula.
Are we going to be charging him an increase in the fee, plus he has to clean his own, take care of the cleaning? And
Yes,
I don't even know
yes.
what he gets for rent over at the other place.
Yes, to
anybody
your
know?
first question, Paula. Yes, there would,
Pardon me?
we would have to settle on some type of a charge for him.
Okay,
Obviously, it's a board decision as to what, we obviously can't charge him $600 a day. I mean, it wouldn't be feasible for him to do it. And, but on the same note, like Mike said, if we can get something coming in, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
It'll help at least pay the electric bill.
which reminds me, does he have to chip in for the electric bill too?
What
Well,
was going about that?
Huh?
Go ahead, Scott. I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, we did speak to him about that, the electric bill and the heat, Paula. Any, you
Yeah.
know, if they're gonna be, normally we would run the heat like 58 degrees or 60 degrees. And
Yeah.
obviously, if he's gonna have a thing in there, we'd have to charge him the difference in the heat. That was all, you know, good with them, but, yeah. I don't
Should
know.
we
we just-
wait and, should we wait and see what he has planned in terms of how it's supposed to be set up and that he is within the guidelines of the
I think so.
Board of
I
Health?
think so, Paula. I think we should definitely see his plan and see how he references the state guidelines. As Scott just said, it's close to what, you know, it does, but what Scott saw didn't say anything about grappling and wrestling. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
I
So
mean,
once we get the plan, then we can, if it's feasible, then we can move forward with discussing rental price, right?
Yep, I think if everybody just kind of comes up with their idea, you know, and then we can get back together and hammer something out. You know, whether
I
it's,
don't know I have no idea what he pays now, so I have no clue what a rental fee would be, so I'm kind of oblivious to that.
I believe it's,
Well, we can talk about that. I don't think we need to
525.
discuss the money now.
it's 525, Scott.
right, 525.
It's 525.
Okay.
So
But
this would
that's a
be,
lot smaller area.
this will be an above and beyond that. He will still continue to pay that rent. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot.
Yep. He's trying to make it.
Okay. So are we.
I guess, at this point, do we want to entertain a motion, with a caveat, of the rest of the information provided to the board and make a final decision, or we just want to wait until we get that information?
I would say, not that I want to wait, I don't want to put John off, but we did tell him that we needed that information before we made a decision.
Yep.
And I think we need to, personally, I just, you know, we're going to be meeting again in 2 weeks. He's going to try to stay outside through the month of November anyway, I think.
Right, that's his game plan.
Yeah, so we're not behind the 8 ball yet. Or he's not behind the 8 ball yet.
Yeah, so there's no rush, right?
Well, I mean, there is, but, not this week anyhow. The weather looks
Okay.
halfway decent for this week.
Yeah, we should all kind of take that time and think about what we feel would be a fair rental for him. Keeping in mind, he would be paying the cleaning fee, and the sanitation fee, and the electric and heat increase.
Okay.
But just one more question, Mike. You said he wants Monday through Thursday and possibly Saturday. Well, you said we can't get Saturday then, right?
Well, we could possibly do Saturday if Nikki doesn't have people booked. And then he said, well, if she does, maybe we could do Sunday. And I'm like, well, your classes are very flexible. I guess they'll come whenever you tell them to come, but which is good. But he's just, like Scott said, he's just trying to make it through, and he'll work with us any way he can. There's really not, as we're going to talk about when we get to the Cub Scouts discussion, there's not any place in town that people can meet.
Mhm.
And it was like 2-3 hours at a shot? Is that what it was for a night, say, ballpark?
I'm
Yeah,
going to say he runs from like 4 to 7.
Okay, 3 hours per, okay.
That's a guess. I'm not a guess, but just an observation of what
Yeah.
each one. Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, if no one else has got any comments, we'll have to reach out to John and get the rest of the information so we can make a informed decision. Nellie, we've got something on here about the scavenger hunt request.
Oh, yes, it was just to review. Just wanted to say that the people who are running it confirmed it was just going to be one table. Everybody has to be mask wearing. So that way it's minimizing sort of contact, because it's really just somebody coming up to the table for a minute to get their checkpoint and then leaving. So I did send that over to the Board of Selectmen to let them know. I know the group has reached out to the Board of Selectmen on their own in terms of, I think, doing it in other spots in Lakeville. So I don't know where that's at right now with any other approval requests they have submitted, but I did let the Board of Selectmen know that we said it was okay.
And that it's not a scavenger hunt in the park. It's
Correct.
just them coming in, getting a stamp and moving on.
Yes.
I don't think they were fully informed as to what was happening. I think they thought it was going to be a scavenger hunt in the park.
Ah.
So I think that's why they said no. So I'd be interested to find out what their feelings are, knowing the fact that it's just coming in, getting a stamp and leaving.
But I thought we already voted on this. Now we know it's a stamp for sure. It's a done deal. It's a go, right? I mean, I don't think we need to play with this anymore. It's done.
No, that's,
We
we've
don't
told
need
them.
approval from the selectmen for this. We already agreed it. We looked at it, we agreed. Let's move on.
Yep,
Is there a fee in charge? Is there a fee
no,
charge for this? No,
No.
it's just a courtesy.
correct,
Okay. All right.
correct. They're just gonna come in the parking lot over near the tennis courts and set up a table, and people get coordinates and they come in and get a stamp and they go on to the next spot.
And they don't even have a date confirmed as of yet. So
Okay. Any other updates for Ted Williams Camp? We do have,
About the, yeah, okay.
yep, we do have a request from the Cub Scouts, which is kind of old business. I know we talked about this before. We've got a little more information on this. They want to meet Monday nights. They're looking at the area. If you're facing the lodge, the area to the left where the fire pit is, and some tables, maybe we could get a couple of picnic tables moved over there. They're looking for Monday nights in November from 5:30 to 7:30. It's gonna be awful dark over there. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
lighting.
That's why I need the power back on that pole over there. Right?
Yes, sir.
And then Thursday
Will
nights,
they be having a fire pit? Will these kids be having a like a around the pit fire, meeting, or is this, what are they doing outside in the winter?
it's a den meeting. They have no other place to go. Every place
Yeah.
else that they've had these meetings, they've been shut out. The
Yeah.
church, where else, Nellie? I know that there was a couple other places they were meeting.
Assawamsett.
Yep, Assawamsett, the
And
church, and they've been booted from
Okay.
there.
And that's because they have too many and they can't go inside? Would that be correct?
I don't know. I just know they can't go there.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe they're just not having anybody there. I'm not privy to that information.
Yeah.
So they're just
So
looking
what-
to come
what-
outside.
Okay, so what do we have to be concerned with them going outside? Is it the fact that there's a large group? Is it a fact that we have to have the electric lights on, that we have to provide a bathroom, or?
No, they've been
What-
informed that the bathrooms are locked and closed.
Uh-huh.
And the only thing that's there is the porta john, which is all the way across the field.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're looking for a couple of Saturdays to go in the afternoon. But they've got to be told it cannot be more than 50 people.
Yeah,
The den meetings are going to be, 15 to 20 people, which is fine. A Monday night and a Thursday night in November. And then 2 Saturdays, the 7th and the 15th, one from 3 to 5 and the other from 1 to 3. But it's going to be specified that they can only have 50 people.
so we don't have to
Didn't they give
charge
us
them
a-
anything.
I think they
We don't have
said
to
there'd be
charge them
50.
Hold on,
anything, is
hold
that
on, hold on. We got multiple people. Paula, go
right?
ahead.
Okay. We don't have to charge them for them being outside, and we don't have to provide porta pots. We don't have to worry about electricity for them. Would this be correct?
On the first part, there's porta potties across the field
Yeah.
over near the maintenance building. Those are open.
Okay.
Secondly, we have no lights to provide them.
Okay,
So correct, we will not be providing lights. That's going to be the whole meeting is going to be in the dark. November 1st, we turn the clocks back. So at 5 o'clock, it's going to be dark. And their
Yep.
meetings are 5:30 to 7:30 Mondays and Thursdays.
Is that they just want it in November? Is that it? Or was this gonna go on past November?
I think they're just looking to get, this just says November, right, Nellie? As far as I know,
Correct.
it's just
Yes.
November at this point.
Yeah, they're just
but-
requesting November right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a suggestion, if you don't mind. I mean, we could use field one at John Pond. We got lights there if they wanted to do that. We have a porta potty there, the unit, we could have that run if they wanted it. They could put the lights on the field and have it all in the lights. I don't know. You could put 50 people out there. That's per requirements. So we could have 50 people on the field. Parents could stay in the cars. They got a bathroom. Just a thought.
the nights that they're looking for is all the Monday nights in November. It's 12 scouts, 3 leaders, and a couple of parents. And then they also have meetings on Thursday nights. So you're gonna be doubling up here the nights that you got lights going. And they're asking for 2 Saturdays, one 3 to 5, and the other on the 15th from 1 to 3, which would be 35 people, 10 leaders, and 5 special guests. No more than 50.
Yeah.
If we allow them to do this, we've got to be, we've got to tell them this is what it is.
Just like everybody else, we tell them what the requirements are and they've signed off on it. So, I mean, I told it out as an option.
You
Super
know,
Bowl is done at the end of the month. So Monday nights and Thursday nights should be free. Weekends, that'll definitely be free.
anybody else have any thoughts? Jesse?
Well, I'm thinking with scouts being campers, they're probably bringing lanterns or something. They asked for these times, so I'm thinking they probably have the lighting thought out. But
I thought the same thing, Jesse. They're scouts. They're supposed to figure
Right.
this out.
and with weekends, I think they mentioned a total number of people was 50 at the max. So
Yep.
aware of it, we just need to reiterate it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Paula, any thoughts?
no, I think that if they go by the COVID guidelines and in any of the spots should be good, whether it's John Pond or whether it's next to our building there over at Ted Williams Camp. I'm just kind of surprised that they would have it in the dark, that kind of thing, but that's what they do. That's what they do, right?
I think partly, Paula, I don't think they really have
Yeah.
much of a choice. They've got to
Okay.
do it. They've got to do it when people can get there and the parents can't get there till after 5.
Yeah.
They're looking at the month of November and I don't know what their plans are after that. And I don't know if they know.
Okay.
Um,
And
I-
do we
I-
have to charge them, or can they just be on the property without a problem? Is there any insurance violation or anything like that?
We can
know.
ask them to provide the information that we would normally get, but I mean,
Oh.
it's a park first and foremost, and if they're gonna
Yeah.
sit at some picnic tables and it's the Cub Scouts, I personally don't feel there should be any charge, but that's just me.
No, I'm fine with that. I just was wondering whether it would cost us any more, if there was any legal issues because they may not have insurance to cover this, whether the town would be concerned because they don't have insurance to cover them for the being on the property, but I don't know how that works.
My feeling is we can ask them for a binder. If they're meeting at the church and the school, I would imagine that they have to have something. And they're part of a
Okay.
national organization. I'm sure that they can get a binder.
Okay.
We can ask them for it as part of the, process. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. If you want, we can offer them either place and see what they think. Does that sound good to everybody?
That sounds fair.
I have some thoughts.
All right, Mike, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think Joe's idea is a great idea. But we'd probably have to figure out what the cost of the lights is. Paula, I'm positive that they have insurance through Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts of America. And
Mhm.
like any group that rents from us or comes there, they could provide us with a binder. We were talking about the area. I'm not quite sure why they want to go under the trees on the left-hand side of the building in the pine grove there, because it's going to be very dark. If they were to use the area out in front of the lodge, they would be much closer to the porta potties, and there's also electricity in there if they wanted to bring lights. So that's just another option that I thought of right away. I'm for it. I'm sure the Board of Health would be fine there. He's always do it outside. Do anything outside as far as you can, as much as you can outside, do it outside. So that's my 2 cents.
I just got one other point, and talked about fee. We might be able to barter services. If they've got 30, 40, 50 Cub Scouts, maybe they can help us out, maybe clean up one of the parks one day or something like that, like I say, that playground, maybe that project they could help us with. So maybe we do that. We give them free use of the fields or whatever, and then they volunteer to help us out, maybe clean up the park a little bit. Just a thought.
How about if they donate a couple flags? What do you
Whatever,
think?
but I think it's something we can have a discussion with. Don't have to get down there now, but maybe that's something we think about. If they want to help us out, beautifying the park somehow, or whatever, flags, whatever that may be.
Yeah. No, all good ideas. All good ideas.
Nellie, when you respond to them, if you want to give them my name, we can walk through I can give them the options at John Pond if they want to, have a couple options. Just let me know.
Okay, will do. I'll let them know. I'll give them the 2 options and see if John Pond will work for them at all.
And like,
I don't know if they would want to pay for the electric.
Well, as I'm saying, but I think we maybe can barter that service,
Right.
and we can move picnic tables into the field, to the old field, like Mike mentioned over at Ted Williams. Maybe we can move some. I got a couple over there anyway. We can put them on the field too. Help them out.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't even have to turn on all the lights. They just one bank down
Just
there.
one bank. Yeah, one bank should do it.
And we can bring more. We could bring more picnic tables down there too.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Are there any tables at John Pond?
Yeah. There's
Joe?
some there already. It's like 5 of them already,
Oh.
5 or 6.
Yeah. So if they were there in the parking lot, and I don't know where the tables are, but
You can move them
sounds
into the
like
field.
two
No problem.
Yeah. Sounds like 2 good areas, though.
Yeah, I think we can work something out. If you
talk
want
to
to do
them.
that, Nellie, you know.
Yeah,
if
I'll talk to them about it with the two options. Should I send this over to the Board of Health as well? Should they review the information?
you know, as long as they, you know, you send them the paperwork and, you know, just have them write something up. I don't think, as long as they're following the specific guidelines, I don't think it's a big deal. You know, I mean, it might as well be a big family going over there for a cookout. I mean, you know, we don't make them give us a insurance binder and fill out paperwork, but you know, we're taking it one step further and we're asking them to do that. And, you know, I know they say they're all going to be wearing masks and everything. But I think they got to take it one step further and provide, you know, some hand sanitizers and things like that.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'll talk to
because
them. I'll start up
Mm.
giving them the forms and I will redo our team's COVID-19 regulation form to kind of really
Yeah.
apply to them.
Yeah.
You know, the masks, appropriate social distancing, hand sanitizer for everybody, etc.
I think if we cover ourselves, we're fine.
Okay.
Anybody else with any other comments? Joe?
Nope, well said.
Mike? Mike, anything?
Good, no, I'm good.
Okay, Jesse?
I'm good.
Paula?
that's fine. It's great.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you, everyone. That takes care of Ted Williams Camp, if I'm correct. Mike, anything else?
No, the only thing that's going on over there, is baseball is still playing. Well, we're gonna get to that right now anyway, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, baseball's still playing, on a couple different fields almost every night. And the women, soccer league is playing on Sundays. I noticed them over there yesterday. They had asked us about mowing the grass shorter for them and Ryan has done that for them. And there was that, the soccer tryouts a couple nights. Didn't they get back? We had talked about them sending in the, you know, all the information like everybody else. And I think they sent that to you, Nellie, right?
They sent all the mandated paperwork. Yeah, they just didn't send their own personal plan, but they're not having practices. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't really do one up versus just following the regulations.
Okay, well, that's good with me. I don't need anything else myself, but, and I believe they've already had their, tryouts. I think they're done.
If they're done, can we get them to move the nets off the field?
Yeah, I will ask them again.
I understand they had tryouts the last time I mentioned it.
Yeah,
It'd make it easier for Ryan and anything else we got to do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah. The, if you know, I don't know if everybody's noticed between the fertilization from a couple weeks ago and the rain, it's pretty lush over there.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, very, very green.
Yeah, it looks good. The
Mhm.
fields look good.
All grass to mow. Should let it dry it out.
Okay. The Grinch.
Put down rocks.
You can play on dirt. We did it as kids. We're spoiling kids. That's what we're doing.
Is that the, when I was over there last week, this is Paula, there was a group of young children playing soccer. Is this the group you're talking about that were doing tryouts? Or is that
no,
another team?
Where were they playing? Where was this group of kids playing?
Right where the women have their soccer team, soccer games.
If there was tryouts, they would have been in colored pennies and there would have been adults there.
Well, there was a lot of cars and a lot of kids on the field. I assume there were adults out there with them. But were they young people that are supposed to be there through the park department? Let me ask you that. Playing soccer.
They were having tryouts. The soccer
Children.
club was having tryouts.
As young as
Okay.
grade 3 and 4.
That that fits. Okay, that answers my question. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were asking.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, there were very little kids up to probably 12, 13, or 14.
Yes, okay, that's who I saw.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Any other sports updates do we have?
I did
Anyone?
see, you didn't mention, I saw men's softball yesterday too, so they're still playing.
Yeah, I think this weekend's their finals,
Hmm.
because where they started late, their season went a little longer. But it's either last weekend or this weekend is the finals for men's softball.
Oh, speaking of finals, Horseshoe Club sent me a note today saying that this is their last week.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, I think we can move on from that. Clear Pond Park, any updates?
Nothing new.
Okay. John Pond Park,
Just Free League softball is finishing up this coming weekend, the 25th. They're gonna have a fun day on Sunday. That's gonna end it for them, and then the week after, by the end of the month, Blue Ball and Mass Drifters will be out of there, so it should be empty after November 1st.
okay. Great.
Hey, Joe, I have a question for you.
Yep.
Did any of that work get done, the cutting back work that you would ask about?
They did do some, yeah, and I said that they said they'll be back again, so yeah, but they did some around the building and along the fields, yeah.
All right, thanks.
Okay, any other old business to review? Anyone, Joe?
No,
Mike?
Did we want to talk about the Lakeville Haunted House?
Sure, we can. That's old business.
So is everyone on the commission aware that the Board of Selectmen, or not the Board of Selectmen, I take that back. Town's council sent a letter out to the people. Do you guys all know that?
Yeah,
Yes,
it was mentioned last meeting.
Okay, well, it didn't go out right away, so they had to give, put another 7 days on the deadline, which I believe is,
This Wednesday.
it's Wednesday.
okay, so it's, so if we get no response, obviously by then, which doesn't look good, it's Monday now. I haven't heard anything. Have you, Scott?
Nope.
We gave my number and Scott's number as contact. We're gonna have to decide what we're gonna do with all the stuff in that building.
Yeah, it's
does
funny.
that mean we officially own it?
Yes.
You own it, Paula. You got to come clean it out.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with it, Paula?
Hey, if nobody claims it in 30 days, it's yours.
It's ours in 2 days.
It's ours in 2 days. It's
Mhm.
I
funny.
guess the only thing I would say is, I mean, if we, as of Wednesday, we own it, are we gonna secure that enough so we don't have people, we hear about people going in there or whatever? That's gonna be our responsibility now, right?
Well, we did secure it, but I think there's one door that we have to secure better. The rest of them are all locked from the inside. This person had a key and got in. There's the side door has a deadbolt lock with a key. So there was no place for us to put a padlock on it. And this person came and opened up that door.
When was that, Scott?
What's that?
Was that recently?
No, that was when the lady went in there and
Oh.
and then I spent the Saturday there with the police, and Jesse
Okay.
came down and all the doors were open, and we resecured them, and I walk the dog and I walk around there and check the doors to make sure they're secured. But so there's one door that has a deadbolt lock on the outside with the deadbolt lock on the inside, but there's no place to put a padlock. We'll have to put a latch on it to put a padlock on it to secure it. Because if someone has a key, they can get in. It's funny you should mention that. I was there on Friday walking the dog, and a young man and his mother pulled in, and I was like, you can't stop there in the middle of the road. And they drove off, and then they came back and he asked me, hey, was the haunted house here? And so I guess this guy ran some haunted house, obviously not this year. Nobody's running anything. For the last 6 years, he's run a haunted house. I forget where he told me now. And he wanted to come down and see what we had. He wanted to buy our stuff and I'm like, he goes, well, it's all electronics, right? I'm like, no, this is old fashioned. This is all old fashioned stuff. Oh, I still want to buy it. I said, well, we gotta, the board's got to figure out what they're going to do with it. But if nothing else, then maybe we have a yard sale, or we have someone come, we do a bidding on it or something. I don't know, just something to think about as to how we can get rid of that stuff. I'd like to do it all at once, lock, stock, and barrel. He was like, well, I'll finish doing all the cleanup if you give it to me. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's going to get cleaned up before you get anything, that's for sure. But I said, the board's got to meet, and the board's got to decide what we're going to do with it and how we're going to dispose of it. I took his phone number and I told him I'd let him know what we do decide. But that's something the board's got to come up with. If nobody comes and gets that stuff by Wednesday, we're going to have to deal with it finally. Whether we have an auction or we have someone come and bid on it, or I don't know.
Can we get in there just to see what's inside there? If it's anything that's worth even selling?
Yeah,
If you've been in there, you might know that. I have no idea what's in there.
to me, it doesn't look like anything's worth anything, but there is some electronics in there. They had all the music and all the lighting. So there's an electronics room in there with a bunch of things, right, Mike?
Yeah, then there's fog machines. There's 2 full rooms of costumes and masks. It is worth something to someone who does this kind of thing. I was going to point out, Scott, also that we had that fellow, Mr. Soares, who still keeps calling us, might be interested in. Also, I spoke to 2 women who worked there for many years, and I have their number, and they would be interested in also, spreading the word to some of the people that were there, and it's almost like there's a lot of people that have great intentions, would like to actually get it running again, but nobody really has the means or the manpower.
Isn't the building condemned? Isn't, Mike?
Pardon?
Is that building condemned? I mean, you couldn't even walk into it. It was all rotted.
No, it's not
It's
condemned.
not. Oh, I thought Nate had
No,
said we couldn't use it or something. No?
no, it's not
Well,
sprinkled, so you can't bring people into it. But it's not condemned at this point.
Okay. And
We
was,
also have that,
Hold on,
Go ahead.
Paula?
and we also had Franklin that was going to take the metal out, and I don't know where it was going, but if he takes the metal out, do we get the money for the metal, or how does that work?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't think there's going to be that much money for the metal, Paula.
I don't know. I just know that he was, because I was thinking, I guess I asked you about this. Some guy offered to take, he was on online looking to remove metal, and then you said, no, Franklin will take it. And then I don't know where he takes it, but I didn't know if all that metal stuff in there what happens to it, I guess is my question.
I guess we'd have to ask Franklin. I mean,
Okay.
there's some car parts back there, but there's not a lot of usable stuff.
Mm.
So at least for the stuff inside, if we can inventory that, maybe put it somewhere, maybe we could sell it, make some money for the Parks Commission then, right?
Yeah, at least maybe recoup some of the costs that it's going to cost us to clean up the area. We still got, what would you say, Mike? Probably a third to go anyhow? A half? A third?
He's on mute.
Or mute?
There you go. I would say closer to a half. Am I
Yeah.
still muted?
No,
Can you hear me?
you're right.
Okay. We took out 15 container loads of mostly 14 of them were all wood, which was all the fencing and stuff that was down there. It separated all the different paths. and that's already gone. We've already paid $1,500 for that. And then there was another
Oh.
one that was metal and plastic, and those cost, and that's more money. That's probably $300 or $400 go out of there. We have, I'd say all told, we've already spent close to $2,500 to clean that up. And that's with John Mirando doing the
Labor.
work, yeah, the labor for free.
Oh,
I have to, I've been meeting with Franklin about bringing a machine down there. And they can do a lot more with the machine because it has a claw on it. But we haven't got another container in there yet. As you know, because of COVID, we kind of, the whole operation was suspended in the end of March. So we need to get back in there again, hopefully before the snow flies. That's where we're at with that. And as far as the metal goes, we were giving it to a local metal dealer. And they take it away for free. Otherwise we'd have to pay for it. And the conversation I think you heard, Paula, was Franklin said they could take it at the town recycling center. And he could turn it in. I think that's part of his budget, is he tries to get what they can for recycling materials.
oh,
I wasn't aware that they did metal over there, and I thought it was just taken away for free, or I thought even the town might have paid for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But anyhow, so there is some interest, and we'll see come Wednesday, 5 o'clock, whether we own it all or not. And I guess we'll have to go from there, and figure out how we're going to get rid of it, whether we put it up for sale or we put it up for bid, or, take some inventory and go from there. The tough part about that is now with the change in the time zones, we're going to have less light than before, because the windows are all boarded up. There's no electricity. So you got to open up the doors to get light in there. So that's going to have to be done on a Saturday or a Sunday, and eat up all your valuable day off time. But, we've got to figure out what we're going to do with it and go from there. Any other old business? Nothing? Any items from the clerk?
Have nothing except correspondence.
Okay,
So we'll move on to correspondence. I did receive official correspondence from the Lakeville Arts Council, from Joanne, who we've been speaking to about the upcoming All That Glitters holiday event, which was scheduled for December 4th and 5th. Yeah, it was on the calendar. They had a conversation with Ed Cullen from the Board of Health last Tuesday, and the end result is that they are canceling the event. They would still like to keep the dates for 2021, which is December 3rd and 4th, and 2022, which is December 2nd and 3rd. Oh, and 2023. So they'd like to continue to hold the dates for the next 3 years, but they have to cancel this year.
but as we discussed before, it'll go back to the prior arrangement. Correct?
Right.
Okay, as long as I understand that. Anybody have any comments or questions? Joe?
Nope.
Mike?
No, just too bad. Understandable, but
Yep.
like
Jesse?
everything these days.
Nope, nothing.
Paula?
no, it's discouraging, but
Yeah, well. Yeah. Any other business for the, do you have any other correspondence, Nellie?
That was it. We already discussed
Cub
the
Scouts?
other correspondence.
Okay. All right,
from
any
the
other
Cub Scouts,
business for the, any other business for the good of the commission?
yeah.
Any other business for the good of the commission?
Any other business for the good of the commission?
Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? Any other business for the good of the commission? None being heard. I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:56.
What's our next meeting?
You would ask that.
Second, 11-2.
Next year? Next year? No? No takers, huh?
Nope. How about 11-2 at 6:30?
November 2nd.
Not a holiday or anything, is it?
It's 2 days before the election, or what's that? Or
we-
1 day before the election? I don't think that'll work.
We can't have the meeting at the hall.
No, no.
Oh, yeah.
We can have it at the police station, right?
No,
We can have it
right here on the Zoom.
Unless the numbers go down, I'm afraid we'll be meeting at this location again.
Yeah. Yeah, that day then.
Okay, November 2nd at 6:30. Is that a good day?
Yes.
Is it possible to have it at the police station, you think? If we ask for that? We get in person or something?
I will ask if we can have an in-person meeting.
Yeah.
We can always use our office. Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:57.
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting, the Lakeville Park Commission at 7:59 p.m.
57.
59 in my place.
Right.
You were fast.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? None being heard? Joe Costa, how do you vote?
I vote we adjourn.
Mike Nolan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jesse Medford, how do you vote?
Aye.
Paul Hubel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Scott Holmes, aye. We are adjourned, 7:57 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, guys.